we're finally diving into it. Or at least, I think we are. I highly doubt, though, we will see much about this flashback, but I once asked myself, what if Deku can call upon the spirits of the previous One for All users? Or maybe he cannot call upon their spirits, but their powers, well, their inheritance, their spirits, they should live on inside One for All. And I think that's why One for All can become an even more powerful quirk. And while I highly doubt that will actually happen in this manga, it does seem that we will finally get a glimpse in the past. Or will we? We'll see. This is the Angry Anime Fan, the Despair Viewer, but what I just said is basically just the ending, though. The beginning is highly more different. This is Boku no Hero Academia 192. First of all, a pretty cool color page with almost every important character, which strangely enough includes Jiro and Yaemomo, together with Suyo, is in this poster. Strangely enough, Ida is not in there too, but then again he can go and run behind himself. I still haven't forgiven him for changing his pronouns. So apparently the next character pose is now gonna happen. I have a feeling that character pose is gonna be a very huge disappointment. So either way, Endevor actually recovered from his wounds, and he actually got his eyesight back from the eye that the normal damaged, but he has now a very large scar on his face. That is actually fitting for someone like him. It is basically, because of him, his son got a scar on his face. Now he has a scar that. It's basically karma, in a way. He, of course, is a little bit thinking it was a bit of a coincidence that Normal came after him. And we all know that Hawks is now a mission to be a double agent, so of course it wasn't exactly a coincidence, but he's trying to pull many things there, but Endevor appears to not notice, which I feel is kind of impossible. He was kind of a detective, you know. Well, either way, he says that he could always cooperate with other heroes if he can. And we see a little bit more in glimpse in Hawk's future long time ago, as he talks about with the police about this was not a proposal but more something he couldn't refuse. It's revealed that a long time ago, when Hawks was a child, he saved someone from a huge 100 kilometers accident, and it was actually the start of Hawk's talent. And we even see a shirt on him that had the Endevor moment, confirming that yes, Hawks really were and is still an Endevor fan, and that's why he was never a fan of All Might. He was only a fan of Endevor all those times ago. And apparently, the fact that he was so fast, even for a child, someone just picked him up, raised him to become a hero, and, well, provided support. So that's how Hawks is. A man who's too fast for his own good. And that's why he wants to create a society where heroes have more free time, because ever since he was a child, he just did all this. He was basically thrown into the hero business. Don't know, and that I think that's also a very good excuse on why he's trying to infiltrate the villain alliance, because he was basically thrown in the hero business to become a hero. He didn't really have a choice. So, yeah, who knows? Either way, the Todoroki household has begun now, as we see Fuyumi, Natsuo, and even Shoto being there. Apparently because he got permission from his family for being there. Of course, the sons cannot really say much, so Natsuo begins to leave. At the beginning, Endevor wants to know why, but then Natsuo, of course, explodes and talks about all of his frustrations to his father. It's the fact that for many years you never once looked me in the eye, and for many years I'd never know that soba was Shoto's favorite food also. So he considers it pretty strange. He considers strange that his mom and sister can forgive him, but he will not forgive him for everything. For a guy who was just trying to be strong. The guy who neglected them and also made their big bro leave them. Actually, here he mentions the big bro, Toya. And apparently, to a translation, Toya. Well, what does Toya mean actually? Uh, One translation seems to translate Toya as being some kind of fire blossom or cherry blossom or whatever. Once when one guy heard that, they immediately wondered if it sounded like if Toya was quirkless. Well, if Toya was quirkless, then it's no way that he is. Then there's no way he is Dabi after all. However, we do not know here what happened to Toya. But Endevor was neglectful for his entire life, beating up villains and then making others and then trying to become stronger, all the while neglecting his other children, while only focusing on Shoto. Although that was not focusing on Shoto, was basically bullying him and always making him that. So he considers it sick. But Endevor surprisingly said he's gonna face that, while he actually runs away. And yes, it turns out that Fuyumi really is the one who's trying to keep the family together. For some reason, she really has forgiven Endevor. In fact, it's not exactly known how her life was, but she seems to be the heart of the entire Endevor family, trying to keep everyone together and trying to just want everyone to smile together again. And she was so happy when Shoto was in the Hero Academy, even though I think she very well thought that Shoto will hate that. We see some people talking about how it was a narrow victory, which is many things more. Then we also see the heroes that was impressed by Endevor's moments. So this actually affects Endemore a little bit, saying that while they may not, some may not be very impressed, Endevor is actually saying that the sound on the invincible something you built up over the years crumbling away meant something of another thing. And this is the age of Endevor, the many talks. And even Shota himself says, as a hero, Endevor is remarkable, but as a father, he is someone he cannot forgive. But as a father, Shoto cannot forgive him. But he also know that people can change. After all, even Shoto himself, he changed, sort of. He's always broody, antisocial, but he slowly realized that he couldn't just be one thing even though he wanted to, because he was himself, no one else. So he can change, and he believes so, even that Endevor can that. And the fact that Endevor himself is talking about the flashback when he talks to All Might, and the fact that when he saw Shoto play with the kids, he actually realized that he wanted to secure a future for these kids, and for many things more. And that is his duty as a top hero. And even if this future he cut short, he has no intention of being forgiven either. So he assesses sorry for his children, and he will walk down the path of atonement. So, and he says he said the wrong word, so not so also. I guess this is meant to finally confirm it all. Endevor has changed. He accepts his flaw. He accepts what he did was not the best thing. And he accepts he was a bad person. And now he is trying to atone for that. He is sincere. He wants to atone. That's impressive. Endevor, I may not have liked what kind of hero you are, but this really here shows that you mean it. And for that, this is not a sarcastic clapping, by the way. I admire that, Endevor. Endevor is trying to face his past, and he does not want to be forgiven for it either. That is a true man. But the chapter ends with something very strange, as Deku goes to sleep. He actually has a dream. He's a strange person covered in a black mist where he sees many previous users of One for All, including Nana Shimura, and also he realizes that he saw all these people a long time ago back in the festival, and then suddenly he sees the brief flashback on where it all started, as we see One for All as a full man who is saying, "Don't, why are you standing against me? Join me in my conquest, my adorable, foolish younger brother." As the younger brother says, "Because everything you're doing is wrong, and I cannot possibly forgive you, not a single fiber of your being." Those were the words that All Might also used, and those are the words of a true one-for-all user. This is a dream that shows the past. Will this affect the future? Will this show the future? Will this show anything much, much more? I have no idea. But if but if Deku really can call upon the spirits of the old, imagine just how more powerful One for All can be. The mystery of One for All is actually deep. So the question is now, why is he having a One for All dream now? Are we really gonna see the past, or are we just gonna see something more? Either way, we finally see the younger brother. Is this when One for All for One gave that quirk to the younger brother, or is this after he got the quirk? I mean, in this picture, the first user of One for All do looks kind of skinny, so it doesn't really look like he is powerful. So, what does this dream mean? It meant to represent something, but I don't know. So yeah, we finally got the name of the final of the Todoroki children, Toya. I forgot what Toya actually meant, but someone once said that it sounded more like a quirkless name. If Toya is Dabi, then I wonder. But yeah, the fact that Natsuo explodes all that much, that just makes the theory that Dabi could have been in Todoroki even stronger. So I really hope that's the case. But what do you think about this chapter? Give me your thoughts if you have any.